Our next speaker will share their journey of discovering their identity as a transgender woman, navigating challenges, and learning to embrace and stand proudly in who she is. With you all, Lilith.
Hi, how are we all? My name is Lilith, as you just heard, and for the past 5 years of my life, I've been living as a proud transgender woman. As you can clearly tell, I'm not 5 years old, so there's clearly been a gap between when I was born and when I realized I was trans. For a long time, I didn't actually even know what being trans was. I didn't know what being queer was. I didn't know that was a thing. So in that sense, I lived a very sheltered life. And for a long time, I'd always had these deep feelings inside of me that there was something different about me, whether or not it was that when I was born or when the universe was making me, a slight button had been forgotten to be pressed or something had been changed. I couldn't figure out what it was, but I was like, maybe everyone feels this way. This is normal. It's not. I didn't feel at home in my own body. But I was a little kid, so I just I buried those feelings for a long time. Around the end of 7th grade, I was hospitalized for the very first time. I was placed on a 5150 psychiatric hold for being classified as a danger to myself and sent to a psychiatric hospital in Fremont, California. Over the next few years, I would be sent to the hospital 5 additional times. I was sent to 3 residential treatment centers. I had been to multiple partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient programs, gone through multiple therapists and several meds. But I'm not here to talk about my mental health journey. But that is a big part as to where I am now. Around my second hospital stay, I was really introduced to what it was like to be queer. After that point, I had already met some queer people around me, but I'd finally really understood what it meant to be queer and what it meant to be trans. And in my second hospital stay, I came out to my family as trans, and I began to socially transition. Another really fun thing is, as of February 28th, 2026, I have celebrated 1 full year of being on HRT, also known as hormone replacement therapy. What that essentially means is through the magic of modern medicine, the hormones in my body have been replaced with estrogen as opposed to testosterone. This has led to not only some physical changes, but also a lot of deeply emotional changes for me. For a long time, I struggled with gender dysphoria, and I think deep down that was really what was causing it for me to be so difficult to move forward and for me to be able to move on with my life. Within that 1 year, so much of my life had changed, and I had finally been able to appreciate life, and I'd been able to be happy with who I was. And I'm happy with who I am now. I'm proud of who I am, and I will never attempt to censor myself. However, as a lot of you know, there's a lot going on in the world. And I have recently been feeling very afraid. I've had this deep feeling inside of me that it would be much easier to simply detransition. For those of you who don't know, detransitioning is the act of a transgender person going back to living their life as the biological sex they were assigned at birth. So for me, that would mean living my life as a man. And even though that could be safer for me in the current world, I don't think it would make me happy. Actually, I'm certain it wouldn't make me happy. I would be miserable. But it's that deep fear that takes hold of me, and that's taking hold of a lot of people in the queer community. The queer community is no stranger to prejudice, and it's no stranger to fear, but that doesn't invalidate or make it any less real. But I'm not going to detransition. In fact, I'm going to be louder about who I am. I'm going to raise my voice more. Through being proud of who I am and through not attempting to censor who I am resisting the people who want me to just simply disappear, who want me to fade away into the darkness. That resistance gives me hope, and I truly do hope that everyone else in the queer community can have that hope. Hold on. This is the one thing I wrote down that I wanted to say verbatim. Through that resistance, I feel as though I'm able to have hope. For me personally, I truly hope that one day the world will be able to be comfortable with who I am, and that the world will be able to be comfortable with the queer community. I hope we are able to rid ourselves of the senseless amount of hatred and division that has so gripped our society for so many years now. Thank you all for listening to me. I wish you all nothing but love and peace and happiness. Thank you.